What's up, guys? It's Eventon here. I'm just continuing with my part 2 of the new player experience. Last time, for the life of me, could not get the footage of the actual beginning part of the tutorial. It was just way too laggy. But this is actually the background of the CC test server right now, and it actually looks amazing. Looks like we have an enforcer here. We got all 4 of the corvettes up here in front for all 4 of the empires, as well as both of the Asteros. And it looks like we have a Macarial, a Nestor, a Lashak. Could be a Rifter. It's kind of hard to tell. That looks like an Osprey, and as well as a few other ships. So I really like the look of this background. I actually might screenshot this. It would be kind of nice, I guess, to see occasionally some bigger ships, maybe some of the more iconic ships for each empire. So maybe the Drake for the Caldari, for the Galente, maybe like the Megathron, and maybe like the Tornado or something like that when it comes to the Minotaur. I'm not exactly sure. For the Minotaur and like the Amar and stuff, but I really like the look of this for the most part. So I actually might save that as my new background. So if you guys want to save that, if you guys log on to the CC server and just press Control F9, the same thing you do for the kind of like get the scenic view of stuff, that's the way to do it. So we're gonna be continuing with our test server character, Eventon. And so I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description below to my first video of this. Again, I could just not get footage.
Captain. I hope your death was not too uncomfortable. Your neural data has been transferred to a fresh clone body. But before you stretch your new legs, someone very important would like to meet you.
There we go. Now we're finally loaded in. It is definitely a test server thing. For some reason, I thought it was my computer. I knew this was kind of a test server thing, but I did get some people in the comments in my last video who said it's definitely a test server issue. I even brought this up to CCP before, that there's times where as I'm going through the tutorial, or at least like the CC servers, like the test server stuff, like my CPU usage of the game normally for EVE Online is probably around between I don't know, 8 to 10%, but sometimes it'll jump up to 45%. So I just think the CC server just isn't very optimized, especially when they include new types of content. So from what I've seen, a lot of the new player experience videos are a bit laggy, but mine's just very much so because my computer is a bit on the older side. So anyway, we'll go ahead and continue with this.
I'm Vesper Calatrix, Air's Vice President of Operations. Commander Ferris spoke highly of your courage under fire. You went out with quite the bang. Since your ship was destroyed in a blaze of glory, Air would like to provide.
I really hope CCP kind of continues with this this NPC, not only just voice acting, but dialogue thing. I really hope we can kind of explore some of the connections with certain NPCs instead of literally leveling up a skill called connections and stuff. It's I would actually like to have cool connections or storylines, or at least build out certain things for certain NPCs. So
you can now board the ship provided to you by Air.
All
Try
right.
not to blow this one up so quickly.
I believe we went with Amar this time. I'm trying to remember what Corvette we ended up going with. So we clicked board my ship, and so we do get into a Corvette eventually.
This particular model is quite popular with Capsuleers.
It's a pretty cool looking one.
Owes you a great debt for your bravery and sacrifice.
I will say it looks like the Amarian ones as well as the Caldari Corvettes, I think in my opinion, probably look the best. Maybe the Caldari one looking the best, so. Sorry if you guys can hear that siren in the background. I'm just doing this whole video in one go. One thing I'm gonna try and do with my channel in general is do more documenting and less heavy editing and stuff, because that ends up taking a lot of time.
I've thrown in an extra module at my own expense.
Well, that's nice of her. I'm sure it's a civilian something.
You should consider doing it more often, Captain. That was a joke. I prefer you alive.
Okay.
You can access items in your hangar, like modules, from the Neocom.
Okay. So when I see this up here, continue.
I have highlighted the section of your Neocom that will
because she showed me the symbol of this, and technically the Neocom menu, at least in my mind, is this, which is technically true. This is the shortcut bar or whatever it's called, but let's open this.
In your item hangar, you will find the objects currently stored at the station. Now, let's take a look at the module Ms. Calatrix has given us.
Okay, so it's a small armor repairer.
A small armor repairer. An extremely useful gift.
I don't know about extremely useful gift, but it is nice.
Place. Well, I'm sure you will have many more exciting deaths in your future. Maintaining your armor might allow you to enjoy life in your current clone body just a bit longer.
Okay.
You can
Click
fit the
continue.
module to your ship by accessing the fitting window from the neocom.
Okay. You could also right click and it's not even letting us. Okay, so it's not letting us really interact with. Also, the window thing is like there's 3 windows all stacked on top of each other right here. Like I'm not sure if it's just how it's set up, but so it's not letting us right click. Usually I sometimes will highlight modules if I have a blank ship, highlight all the modules, right click, and then fit the ship. But looks like here they want us to open the fitting window.
The window displays your current ship's equipment,
Okay.
stats, and attributes. Now would be a good time to examine your ship's attributes.
Click on any one of your ship's attributes. Okay. In my opinion, by default, these should all be open. I'm not sure why these are closed. Like, I know initially it might seem, all of this might seem very overwhelming or confusing, but I think I would almost, in this case, almost maybe have a little bit too much information than just no information at all. So what is she telling us to do? Let's find your new module in a free slot. Click and hold the armor repair in your inventory. Then drag it to the ship in the window. Technically, you can drag it into the middle of the ship. You don't have to drag it into the exact slot. Let's see if it does it if we just drag it into the middle of the ship. Okay, it worked.
Confirmed.
I assume it also, I mean, it does work if you drag it into the actual slot as well.
Now, bring the module online.
In the fitting window, click on the offline module to bring it online. Interesting. Unable to bring.
It appears you do not currently possess the skill necessary to use this module. Hardly surprising. You still have much to learn.
Okay. I think this is something that they've never really changed about the tutorial, is like they always give you some sort of repair module, in this case the armor repair module. And I think they give you some SP to skill inject right away as well.
Violently disrupted, to say the least.
Training is violently disrupted. Technically, isn't every new player that starts this game, their training is always going to be violently disrupted because everyone has the same starting experience?
Like flying ships or using modules by rewiring their neural pathways. The skill book contains the mapping data required to perform. Skill books are consumable. Once we inject it into your neural interface, you will be left with nothing but a new and improved version of yourself.
Okay, a little bit of explanation here. I might skip the parts where it actually gives explanation a little bit just to kind of speed things up, but the parts where it actually tells me to do something, that's kind of where I'm going to focus on and make sure that this is something a new player could actually understand. Hover your mouse over the skill book and then select skill, inject skill. Okay, so inject skill.
We will begin the process by accessing the skill queue from your neocom.
Okay, so is this the new skill window, I guess, which is pretty handy instead of having to click character sheet and then skills and then going from there. Ooh, I don't... Huh. So is this the new character sheet? Very interesting. I'll be honest, every single time I did the character sheet and it loaded like my actual character portrait and like what I looked like, it honestly lagged a lot. And again, it probably because just my computer's a bit older, but this layout's very, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm just going to continue with what they are saying. So I'm going to click on the skills.
Here you will see the Air Skill Plan. Skill plans provide capsuleers with a learning experience tailored to their specific goals.
All right.
The skill needed to online your new module is included in the Air Skill Plan. Now, begin training the skill.
Okay, add skills to training queue.
To speed the process along, I've gifted you with a skill injector. It's the least I can do, considering the role you played in saving thousands of lives.
Okay.
A skill injector. What a tremendous boon. I recommend activating it immediately.
Air skill injector. 250 unallocated skill points. That is... What is that, an hour of waiting? Okay, double click to inject. Click here to confirm.
Your display is growing rather crowded. Now would be a good time to tidy it up. Close the injection.
I was just about to say, I'm already looking at 4 different menus right now. Close the skill point.
To finalize the skill injection process, be sure to confirm allocation of its resources, most commonly known as skill points.
Okay. Following along this. Click here to confirm. See, this doesn't really explain much. All I see is repair systems 1 or repair systems 2. It's not really explaining much. At least when it comes to skill injectors and things like that.
You should close these windows as well.
Should close these windows as well. Has not told me to close this window just yet. Close the skill window. Apply skill points. Window and the inventory. Okay. And the inventory. So it just says and the inventory. It says close the skills window, apply the skill points window, and the inventory. All right. I guess close this as well. And so close the skills window. So every single time up to this point, all the windows are here, right? Window here, window down here when we click like inject skill or whatever like that. If you're looking at this, and there's been times where I've done this, especially when you're looking at like the ship tree, the tab is actually up here. The closed window, this entire screen is a window. You just don't, it's really easy to overlook.
Now that you have the required skill, try.
So I could definitely see a new player possibly overlooking that. Now you have the required skill. Try activating the small armor repair once more. Okay, so click it. Now it's online.
Very well done, Captain. Your ship's modules are now online.
Okay.
Knowing how to train skills and fit but several questions remain. Who attacked the cloning facility?
Okay.
And what were their motivations?
That is my question, and I really, really hope we expand upon this and start a new series of either storyline missions or new missions in general.
Our investigation is still in the early stages, but I have 2 theories. The attack may have been motivated by simple greed. There's no shortage of competitors who would kill to acquire AIR's groundbreaking cloning and capsule technology. Literally. A more worrying possibility is that someone out there is trying to stop us from pursuing our research. While AIR prides itself for being a disruptor of New Eden's tech scene, there are those who think we push the limits of innovation too far. The technology suppression laws in New Eden are draconian, if you ask me.
I trust you will keep us updated on the investigation, Miss Calatrix. Captain, you'll want to keep your wits about you once we're back in space. To that end, I highly recommend closing any unnecessary windows on your display. It would be a shame to lose our lovely new ship because you didn't see the danger flying towards it.
Okay, so close the fitting window. Again, there is a highlight here on the closed windows part. Very small, but it should be easy enough to figure out.
I'm a busy woman and I have places to be. What I can do is put you in touch with contacts of mine who can help you grow as a capsuleer.
Okay, so we'll go next here.
A perfect opportunity to familiarize yourself with the agency.
Once they tell me to start doing agency stuff, I'm going to start exploring the skill tree here, because that's kind of the whole point of this up to this point. But the introduction to the agents and missions and the armor repair skill injectors all seem pretty new.
You could unearth secrets hidden among the stars, or prove your mettle in the field of combat.
Okay, select agents and mission.
The contacts Vesper suggests can be found on the career agent's card.
Okay, so click that.
I suggest you take a moment to familiarize yourself with what each agent has to offer. They specialize in business, industry, military combat, and exploration. No matter what path you choose, you will find a career agent that can help you walk it. Once you've decided which one tickles your fancy, as the saying goes, set your destination.
So these don't appear to be in any kind of order in particular. It doesn't look to be in alphabetical order. It doesn't seem to be in any. It just says a business career path. I mean, In my opinion, you should probably start with the military career path. I believe that's just like the combat one, and the advanced military is the one where they actually teach you a bit more about E-War. Click military. So we'll just click one of these.
Be sure to close the agency before we depart.
All right.
Stay safe out there, Captain. If our investigation uncovers any additional information on the attack, I'll be in touch.
Okay, I kind of like this ongoing storyline.
All updates with bated breath. Metaphorically speaking, of course. I don't breathe.
Of course.
Captain, when you're ready, we can undock and begin the next phase of our journey. I do wonder how you'll die next. I suppose that is what ancient philosophers called morbid curiosity.
Interesting. So before we kind of continue on with this, I do want to... oh, nice. There's even a tab for Aura
when you're ready, we
as
can
well.
undock.
There's kind of a tab for Aura. But I do like this kind of like ongoing storyline that's kind of happening in the background as you're doing the career agent stuff. At least I really hope that is what happens. So we're going to look at this skill tree thing a bit more. So I see the Explorer, Enforcer, Industrialist, and Soldier of Fortune. These are, I believe, purchasable packs that are on the EVE Online store that are named quite literally this, the Industrialist, Soldier of Fortune. So I'm not sure if this is their way of kind of pushing, obviously, people to check out the store and buy a pack that will quote-unquote help them. I'll be honest, most of these packs aren't going to help you at all whatsoever actually get better at the game or help you with anything, since most of the time they just give you either very, very inexpensive things like cap boosters and things that won't help you at all, like skins. I haven't covered those like packages yet, but so looking at these, I'm kind of curious about these skill catalogs, these skill plans. So we'll go ahead and create a plan here. Okay, this UI is definitely much, much more friendly and cleaned up. I do like this. It does feel a bit weird that it's taken up your entire screen. I guess sometimes I do like to be able to look at other things in the background, like the market or a fitted ship when I'm trying to see like what things it needs and all that. But I think this is much more. I definitely think they could still clean up Spaceship Command quite a bit. It's just a little overwhelming when there are 85 tabs of ships, and sometimes it does feel weird when you do have Mining Frigate kind of slapped in the middle of certain things like Minmatar Battlecruiser and Caldari Cruiser and all that stuff. So yeah, I really like the look of this so far. I'm not really sure like all the things you could really explore with this. I haven't honestly watched hardly any videos on the new skill plan thing. But I do know you can like save these, share skill plan, and all of that. So is there a particular ship? I guess we'll just look up a ship. So skill plans, personal ones, skill catalog. Interesting. So the skill catalog is just the normal, like if you're looking at it normally, and then certified plans. Let's look at the industrialist one. So hauler, alpha miner, omega miner, manufacturing. So it kind of tells you how far away you are from completing it, it seems. Salvager is just under a day. There's a hauler, manufacturer. What are the skills for the hauler? I'm curious. There seems to be certain milestones. Track plan, show skill plan contents. There we go. Navigation. This is laid out very similarly to the expert systems that you can also purchase as well, or the ones that you are given as well that you can see like in the character sheet, I believe. So this seems interesting. Buy missing skill books. I think that's something you could do already. You could just like buy all the missing skill books, but usually that was done through the like fitting window, I believe, and it wasn't something you could do through like the skill menu. Share a skill plan by dragging the icon into chat. Is that what that is? The icon into chat. Save a copy of the skill plan to your personal plans. Interesting. So I like the looks of this. Track skill plan. What does that do? Does that show anywhere else? I'm not a huge fan of these like 5 little indicators here in the middle. It just doesn't mean much to me, to be honest. I understand this is probably part of like the certified plans thing. But all of this just seems like it's so many different menus. And there's different ones for each empire as well. Galente Mission Runner. This is kind of what I'm curious about. Curious to see what missions they actually, or like what skills they actually want you to skill into. So drones, light drone operation 1. Galente frigate. Galente destroyer. So the milestone is the Algos, I believe. Like all of this, I'll be honest, a lot of this is really hard to follow. You're looking at a skill plan and you just get an entire page worth of skills. And if I was new, I would not be able to follow along this at all. I'm like, what are all these skills? What is hybrid turret? What is the Galente stuff? Social 1. I don't. Connections. Acceleration control. Like, what do all these things mean? As I'm looking through this as a new player. So so create a skill plan. This seems to be completely open too. Okay, I do kind of like that it shows all the prerequisite skills if you just throw something in there. So I just put an armored command. And it shows all the prerequisite skills that are needed to be able to level that up. I do like that a lot. So that is pretty nice. Am I able to undo it? I click this. Okay, I have to click minus. What if I minus? Okay, so you can't minus a prerequisite. You have to like remove it in order. Okay, I kind of like that part. What else? So let's say we wanted to get into an Amar. Where's the Titan? Amar Titan. How long would that take? Click that. There's a little bit of lag. So this would take us 226 days. That is interesting. We are getting pings. Sounds like we're getting indicators. Discard skill plan changes. No, not yet. But yeah, this is all going on a cluster shutdown. Is there an early shutdown going on? I guess so. So I guess we got less than 5 minutes left. Honestly, there's not much left to really see here, to be honest. I do like how you can actually add a name to it, add a little description as well. I do hope that CCP kind of expands this to not skill injectors, but implants as well. I would love to see you actually be able to attach implants to a certain fit rather than just like throwing the implants in the cargo hold and like really inflating the entire cost of like the ship and stuff. I think it would be cool to be able to throw, be able to save certain skilling implants as a thing as well. So you can link the skill plan, so you can link a ship, a skill plan, and implants that all go along with it, either all under one link or 3 separate links. Not entirely sure, but I mean, I like the look of this so far. I do like that it shows all the prerequisites when you select a certain plan. It just feels weird that like everything seems to be organized from left to right in vertical columns, but then when you actually select certain plans or skills like this, like these certified plans, you get all these like these circular icons. Like, is this going from left to right? Is this going clockwise or counterclockwise? When I'm looking at the manufacturing one, like I'm not even sure which one I'm skilling up first. Track plan, on track, so track. And so this is all gold. By missing skill books. Yeah, this just seems to have like very little to no direction as to how to do some of these skill plans. Like I like the UI layout of some of this stuff, but again, at least these like certified plans or these these pre-made plans just don't make a lot of sense, and especially since that it's very easy for a new player, like let's say I am Caldari, it's very easy to overlook the fact that you're like scaling into a Mar instead, in case you want to like Caldari. Like some of these indicators are pretty small. I would say by default, they should just like either just give you the Caldari one, just to get started off, because like, or whichever faction that you started with. So Soldier of Fortune, so there's Pirates. I'm assuming, is this like a PvP version? Hobgoblin. See, like I'm still not even sure what these like icons even mean. Small hybrid turret, so it just shows a head with some cogs on it, and this kind of like weird geometric shape with other shapes around it. So all this stuff, just I don't even know what I'm looking at, to be honest. And this is, maybe I'm just overlooking something, but these are all questions that I could definitely see a new bro doing. And especially like, this is taking up your entire screen. Like, can I even have the chat box open at the same time? You cannot. So you can't even get help from people in rookie help chat, like that are trying to walk you through something. You have to like minimize this, chat with them, reopen it, keep chatting there. So I'm not a huge fan of having this like be the full screen. It looks like you can have this like floating or be it smaller. There we go. I think by default it should be floating, because having it take up your entire screen and not letting new bros be able to talk to rookie help chat or other people at the same time, because that's also another thing too to overlook very easily, that this entire screen is a window as well. So you can minimize that as well. So yeah, I mean, it looks like the server's going to shut down here in less than a minute. This is just like my initial reaction and overview. I definitely see the appeal of setting up groups of skill plans and having certain milestones. I think it'd be great for certain corporations for PvP. If you're trying to skill up, let's say get your fleet or your corporation into like Ravens, but you wanted to have kind of like a milestone at the let's say the Caracol, then another milestone at the Drake, where they can get into like light weapons, then heavy weapons, then eventually like cruise missiles or something like that, where they can kind of hit certain milestones. I think that'd be very helpful and pretty cool. But other than that, I like the way the UI looks, but it just seems like a lot of information, and especially when you have a combination of a lot of these like horizontal and vertically stacked like column information, then all of a sudden everything is circular here with icons that just don't seem to make a lot of sense. So all right, I'm going to go ahead and let the cluster server shut us down before this video ends. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys take care and you fly safe.